Hello, this is Tom. In this video I would like to show you how to adjust icon animation on your own and render it with body moving plugin. First you need to head to AE Scripts, download and install the free body moving plugin. As an example, for this tutorial we are going to create an onboarding screens which consists of 3 pages. Find the best date with calendar icon, match the flights to you with filter icon, and don't miss the best bargains with this notification icon. What we're gonna create is an in animation for this calendar, then we'll stay with this calendar animation that's available from the Lord icon. We will create the transition animation from this calendar to this filter icon, use the built-in animation for this filter icon, then transition animation from filter to notification, and again use the built-in animation for this notification icon. Perfect, so now head over to the Lord icon and start downloading. First, calendar. Wonderful. Ace project. Great, now let's open the After Effects project and load everything. Okay, we have successfully imported these 3 icon animations. Now let's open these folders. Great, as you can see, some icons may be exported with a lot of null objects or unnecessary compositions. So the easy way to fix it, you can select the main compositions, which are always starting with a number, then go to File and Dependencies and Reduce Project. And yeah, everything clears up. We know that the main composition is created with 500 pixels by 500 pixels, so we need to create our master composition for this purposes. I will go with a simple 500 by 500 onboarding sequence. Great, let's say that this is not 10 but 20 seconds. I will pick the gray background color and let's change the frame rate to 60 FPS because this is the number of frames that the body moving exports. Okay, perfect. Onboarding sequence. So let's remind ourselves, we'll need to start with the calendar in animation to calendar, then calendar itself, then transition animation, then filter, then transition to notification, and that's all. Perfect. Okay, I'll start with going into the calendar and yeah, so this is the first animation. Then let's switch to the second state. How it's gonna be. Okay, so this is much better. I would prefer to go with the second animation as the hover one. So I'll need to go into that. All the layers are connected to this. So now I'll just need to delete the expressions. I can go and quickly type 12, then UU, then with Alt, delete it. All the stroke width expressions will be deleted. Now one more time. I think that I've selected the composition, yeah. Now let's change this, maybe to super dark. And delete, okay, great. Now let's jump into the pre-comp. Okay, this is how it goes. So I'll need to one more time delete this. I can go one by one. I'm following the process with deleting the expressions. The calendar icon is quite complex, so it can take me a while. Okay, from the Figma file, from the reference, I know that the stroke width is quite thin, so I think that I'll need to go down to 7 points or something. I'll get back to After Effects and let's try 5. Yeah, okay, I think 5 is a good choice. So now we'll get back to other compositions and change it to 5. And I don't care about this. Okay, so I have the animation. Now I need to only change the color. Let's get back to Figma. Okay, the numbers are with this color. The rest is black. Numbers. So this is a number. And this exactly. Yeah, now it looks fantastic. Okay, so we have the hover done. Now let's jump into the funnel. I will just copy this cal hover 2 that is over here to onboarding screen. And let's call it calendar hover. It's maybe not hover, so calendar sequence. And the calendar sequence lasts for 2.5 seconds. So 2.5 seconds and stops over here. Maybe I cannot beat of the room, but I'll need to mark it. Perfect. So let's say exact 3 seconds. Now we'll close all of these tabs by clicking right and close other timeline panels. Wonderful. Now let's jump into the funnels. It will be much simpler. We need to delete all of the control layers. And yeah, as you can see, we have some 5 pixels already for this funnel. Let's go into elements. 5 pixels as well, but we need to delete all of these wrong expressions. And black color. Or maybe, you know what? Let's check. This is okay, so blue is the one that we need to color. So this blue. So we need to color this and delete. These are the 3 compositions, so I will select the rest. This, and color with the black. Fantastic. Now let's get back over here and delete the expressions. But this should have the purple. Okay, this is the path expression, so we don't need that as well. And we don't need that as well. Great, and the animation goes like this. Perfect. So this funnel is done. Now I'll just drag it to the main composition, and the animation lasts for the same 2.5 seconds. Great, so we have a sequence animation for the filter. Now let's jump to the alarms and do the same. We'll delete these, change the stroke to 5, W, delete all the stroke with expressions. The bell is only the one that we need to color. Plus this. And this. Or even this. Oh, you know what? I could just select all of these layers and enter this color. Now let's select all the other layers. Dark. Delete. Sweet. So we have another one. Let's jump into the onboarding and drag and drop our notification. And let's call it notification sequence. How long does it take to finish the animation? 2 seconds and something. So I'll just mark it over here and close it up. Wonderful. Now I need to clean up my project panel by selecting the compositions that I use, which is the Cal2, this and this, and let's drag it down, like over here. Then let's close everything. Let's create a new folder, call it Older. Now I will select only the folders that I want to collect over here. Now create another folder, pre-comps, and let's collect all of the other comps over here. And this is calendar sequence. This is, oops, filter sequence. And this is notification sequence. Now I'll need to create an in animation for calendar, then morph animation from calendar to filter, and then from filter to notification. I'll duplicate the calendar sequence and call it calendar enter. I'll just base with this simple design. I don't really care about the rest, so I'll delete the animation for this and delete the mask. Yeah, and I'll delete the mask and stay with this core. So I'll have only this. Great. Let's extend that. Okay, and the plan for this icon animation is to open this top element and unfold the paper. This is the plan, so now let's execute it. I will delete all of the keyframes, then also this one. I will keyframe position and rotation for this element, then move it to, I don't know, half of the second. Now I'll need to start the animation from the center. Let's move everything up to half of the second. Let's keyframe rotation. W, and now let's animate this animation. And now let's animate this paths. I'll select everything, click paths, U. Now let's move it over here. Keyframe. Then start from this square. So this will go like this and up. But let's create some overshoots for that. And for that as well. And now let's easy use these keyframes. Okay, so this needs to happen much faster. Now let's start from the normal keyframe. Much faster. this is the dynamics that we were looking for. Let's close the guides. Great. So once we are here, we need to move the calendar up. Let's ease that. Let's go like this. And like this. And let's say that we want to close this animation within 1.5 seconds. So we'll need to maybe speed up some parts, or let's. Okay, and this is how, okay. This is how it looks. So I'll definitely need to work with the dynamics over here. Let's overshoot it. Okay. Let's play with the rotation. Maybe some additional wiggles at the end. That looks interesting. We need to delete the first frame for sure, so it will go like this. Wonderful. And now let's start digging this one. So this is a piece of paper that needs to be unfolded. So I'll start with a very simple rectangle animation. Let's align it. And for now, let's hide it. 0. I'll move the anchor point to the center. And the animation will start by position from here to here. But in the meantime, I'd love to open up this rectangle . To this, so we'll go like this, this, and up to 0. Let's ease that. It should slow down over here. Okay, it definitely should slow down over here. So I'll just keyframe this position and try to adjust the dynamics. Let's ease that. You know what? I think that I'll start with already this size. And let's delete that. and maybe... No, I'm just experimenting with this right now, just to find the perfect dynamics, the perfect move for that icon. Okay, it needs to happen much faster. And let's stay with that. So it will open and then unfolds. Open and then back. Okay, that looks decent. I'll need to now parent this paper to the core animation. So it will go like this. And now I can move it up. And now I can move it somewhere here. So once the top part opens, it can unfold like this. And the entire animation will take around a second or 1/2 second. Now I need to add round corners to this rectangle. It's simple, it's just by increasing the roundness. It will go like this. And with that one, I also need to add a huge rectangle that will be a mask. Let's parent it to this layer. Let's call it mask. Delete the stroke. And let's mask the core, so the top part. So, and let's invert the mask. Okay, this is how it goes. Now let's trim this layer. Let's remember that this shape layer we need to actually duplicate it, and first, and it will act as a mask to this top element. Let's of course let's invert it, and from this one let's delete the fill, so you can actually see the difference. Like we have this top part, then it opens up, and you can forget about the mask over here, so let's just crop it. And now let's duplicate it, and we need to open this paper, so we need to use the same mask for this one, but we'll need to add something to this. Invert it, because when it's inverted we only mask this element, but we also need to add some additional shape layer to this part. So I'll just easily drag a rectangle, and that should work. Yeah, up to this point. Yeah, maybe let's align this rectangle more like this, And yeah, we have an opening animation for the calendar. This is wonderful, I really like this animation. Now let's drag it to our duplication. Let's drag it to onboarding sequence. And it will be calendar enter. And we know that the animation lasts for around 1/2 second. So it finishes over here. Let's add a bit of the room. Perfect. Now we need to create a transition from the calendar to filter. I'll go with the first one and just duplicate it and call it calendar filter morph. I'll just stay with these 2 layers and delete the rest. Of course, let's make it visible. So we need to create a transition from here to the filter. And for that, I'll need to copy this layer, paste it over here. And I have this funnel and this calendar. I'll just need to set a 1 second of transition, or even less, you know. I'll just go with 1/2 of the second transition because it should be quick. This should act as the first frame, and this should act as the last frame. Now let's start digging with that. I would like this top part to become top part of the filter, and the other part should become this, and the number itself should just disappear. So I'll just extend it a bit. Now I'll duplicate it, use it as a red guide. Okay, and what are we gonna do now? Maybe let's first play with this top part. The animation should be very simple because it's quick. So let's keyframe the path animation. Now let's move on to the 12th over here. This one, maybe let's make the main funnel invisible. Let's move it over here. This like this. This should go like this. So where's the middle? Okay, the middle is over here. Now let's put it down. Bach. Okay. Let's move it over here. And let's move it over here. Great, so we have this first movement done. Let's ease that. Now let's go with the paper. Keyframe all of this. Okay, and for this animation, I'd like to add a couple of more like in-between points onto the path. I'll add plus here, 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 and I think that's all. Now I'll just need to move all the elements like this, like this. This. and like this. Great, and that should work quite well. Bum. And let's now get rid of this one. I'll just, add trim paths. And try to maybe, move it like this. And 100%. So it will move like this. Bah. Wonderful. And now we need to remember to stay with this last frame. So I need to delete the guide and I need to finish the animation right over here. And I need to change the color from black to, so this, to this. And the color transition should be relatively quick, like a third of the entire time. And we of course need to put these additional 2 elements below the main group, so they don't overlay on the top of our main purple element. Okay, let's delete the grid. Wonderful, this looks fantastic. You know what, I'll just need to speed it up a bit and introduce some anticipation and some secondary action. Okay, I've parented this element to this, so I'll just need to maybe move the anchor point to the center, somewhere over here. And now just play with some position rotation, maybe down, maybe like this, and we'll finish. This very quick this very quick movement will help the entire animation to feel more dynamic, more personalized. Even like just because without this position rotation, we have just like this very quick morph transition that is not so cool as with the position rotation animation. Perfect. So we have a morph transition from calendar to filter. Now let's create a transition from filter to notification. I will just duplicate this, filter to notification, morph. Let's add to this composition the notification. Great, and filter notification. And it should also last for around half of the second, right? So notification, then this animation. Wonderful. This matte, we don't need this matte. We'll create a new one. So I'll just delete it. The plan for this animation is to animate the bottom part of the filter to become this message bubble, and the top of the filter to become the bell. So it won't be as linear as before with the calendar to filter, because we'll need to animate this icon up to the point, and then the notification icon will animate from here to here. So I'll pre-compose this notification icon as a guide. I'll then delete this guide, but for now I would love to have this red guide over here. And now let's move some keyframes. This part will need to become this. Let's dig that. Let's say that will go over here somewhere. Over here. Over here. And over here. And now, because we have this movement, right? How easy is that one? I'm pretty sure that we need to go down a bit with that. That as well. It's like bum, bum, bum. Maybe let's add some additional point over here. Let's curve it. It's not perfect, but the movement will be quick, so we'll cheat it over here. Perfect. Now this part, I will update this. Now what I'm gonna do is try to match the filter with the chat bubble. Yep. Something like this. Something like this. And you know what? We need to finish over here. This will detach this element to become the bell. See? So for this transition, I'll need to add a bit of time rather than just stay with half of the second. I'll just prefer 1 second, so I have a room to play the secondary animation, because the entire movement will be so quick that this icon, this message bubble requires this secondary animation, so we need to make room for that. So now this transition, and this will obviously then finish, and now the bell, it's supposed to just happen like, okay, I need to keyframe this bell first of all. I don't need this for now. I'll keyframe the position, rotation, move all of these keyframes on the 12th frame, then -90, move it over here, or maybe no, just 90, and move it over here. Now let's tweak some bars like this, and let's add an additional point over here so we can make a perfect square. Maybe it's not a perfect square, but it looks like a rectangle to be detailed. On purpose, I won't start at this perfect frame because I'd like to have this quicker morph transition. This shouldn't be visible over here, and it should go like this. Great, and we have this transition. You know, actually I won't stop this animation with easy keyframe. I will let it flow. This will be the end keyframe, and it definitely should be easy, but let's overshoot it. Like this. And then like this. So the entire animation looks like this. Okay, you know what? I'll need to work on this element. Maybe adding position and rotation animation to this. Keeping the anchor point over here. We'll go down a bit, like rapidly. Then up. And then I'll finish with this secondary animation dance. Okay, and we have like okay, and this maybe it's too much, so I'll decrease the overshoot. I'll need to adjust this movement so it feels well. I think this works well. So we have this match cut over here. Obviously we don't need this, and we can delete this pre-comp. We have the match cut over here. Great. So for the notification bell, I'll need to add more rotation happening. Like this. and like this. Or maybe, you know what, I won't add this additional animation to the bell. All I need to do is just to delay some position to the back, and I think that that's enough, because then later we'll have the initial notification animation that will do its job. Great, and now I need to add a couple of extra elements like these lines. So I need to attach these lines to this bubble. So I can delete this bubble, and these lines will start over here. I can animate just paths, so it feels like it's drawing. Something along these lines. Maybe it's too fast, and this. Yeah, this looks great. Now I need to add these elements to the bell, so I'll need to delete this, attach this to bell. So this hanger over here. So this could appear like that. And the pinned, to be exact. And you know, the bell will need to act as a mask. And I will add a fill color to this. Mask inverted already. And it's over here, so you know what, I'll just use the bell rotation, attach it to this pin, so it animates like this. I'll also need to use the mask one more time to mask the bubble, and voila, this is how it goes. It's quite easy to animate these, but it takes time. Well, perfect, so we have everything. Now let's stack everything together on the onboarding sequence. Now I will need to drag and drop the filter notification morph, and I know that the animation takes around 1 second, so I'll add marker over here, then add some additional time. Perfect. And okay, first we need to calendar enter, which is this exactly. Then once the calendar enters, let's say at the 1 second and 1.5 second, let's say at 1.5 second, we need to open the calendar sequence, which is this. Then at 4 seconds and 30 frames, we need to add calendar filter morph, which is only half the second. Then I will add, maybe another half of the second. Then crop it. Then filter sequence. Great. And then at 8.5 seconds, I would go with filter notification morph. Then at 10 seconds, I would go with the notification sequence. And the end. Wonderful. So now let's play it. We have in animation, sequence, morph, sequence, morph, sequence, and that's all. The animation looks fantastic. Now there are two ways to export it. You can either export it as entire piece, but note that you'll need to register at which frames the animation finish and starts. So you can indicate that, for example, for the beginning, play animation from 0 frame to 68. Then once the user interacts, please play the animation from 90 frame to 240, and then once user interact, and as follows. And you can also switch it on and off by clicking this with Control plus click, and yeah, this is the first method. You can easily go to body moving, click project settings, use comp name because it saves time, then close and onboarding sequence select and save, render. Now you can head over to Lottie icon, go to editor, and let's upload this so you can see how it goes. Everything's running smoothly and the JSON is ready to use. Or the other method is to render each file one by one. For this, I will need to close all the panels in the group. Now open everything, and now let's start from the calendar enter. So animation finish over here. So I need to align the work area so it doesn't have any additional time without any animation. So this finished over here. This finished over here. This finished over here, and notification sequence finish over here. And now I'll just need to head over to body moving and select this calendar enter, calendar filter morph, calendar sequence, filter notification morph, filter sequence, notification sequence, and I think that's all. So now let's select the location where we want to save it. And render it. Now let's jump back to Lottie icon editor, and as you can see, you can have individual animations that you can load with your code at whatever time you'd like to example, notification sequence like this. And yes, this is how easy it is to create animations based on existing icon animation and render them with body moving plugin. I'm attaching this project below so you can have a look at how it was created from the scratch. I hope this video helped you in some way, so thank you very much for your attention and cheers!